experiencing financial anxiety, you are not alone. Dr. Richard Levack is here to help. Good morning. Oh,
good morning,
anxiety
Shelley.
and stress seems to be like the words of the day.
Doesn't it?
Well,
yeah, so much.
And when you talk about finances, I think for a lot of people, no matter who you are, whether you have a family, you're single, it does bring quite a bit of stress into one's world.
You know, finances are a huge issue. They get to our basic security threat. You know, Shelley, 77% of Americans report worrying about money occasionally or quite a bit. 54% say it dominates their lives. A quarter of all divorces are due to financial conflicts. And 54% of Americans who are married say they're not financially compatible. So you look.
No, because it's very true. It's like one of the top reasons that a lot of people, especially those in relationships, you know, argue about. Why the money? What's with the money?
Well, the money is security. You know, again, of the biggest worry for people who worry about money is currently inflation, food costs. So many people worry about not having an emergency fund. So when my own family, when I grew up, the fights my parents had were about money. To this day, I'm affected by that. So if you grow up with money trauma because your parents don't have enough or there's conflict about money, it affects you. It's because it's about where you live, it's about food, it's about providing for your kids. So it's a big deal.
You talk about this financial anxiety in America, and you talk about the inflation and how much things have changed. What are the symptoms that people would see and feel in their families because of financial stress?
Right. If you are experiencing this pit in your stomach every time you have to spend money, if you avoid opening bills, there are people who get so worried about money, they just don't open their bills. They don't look at their finances. They feel terribly guilty if they spend it. And some people, when they're anxious about money, refuse to worry about it, even though they're very worried, and overspend. To heck with it.
And that will cause a whole other problem.
And that causes another problem. So finances are a big issue. Living in San Diego, it's beautiful, but it's expensive. And it does, people today, something like 70% of Americans worry about money and about inflation.
There are a lot of people who we've reported right here on the show that because of the financial stress, they just pack up and they leave.
That's right.
And that's a big change in one's life. Isn't
that a huge change? Because moving is a big stressor. So the important thing is that you look at your financial personality. What is my relationship to money? And if I have financial worries, tackle it, deal with it, sit down, talk to your spouse.
But a lot of people don't like to do that. I know a few of those people. When the topics of money come, they want to immediately push it off and they don't want to go there. Is it just because they don't want to face it?
They don't want to face it. And the other thing is, Shelley, it's sort of uncool to talk about money with friends. People don't discuss their sex lives or their financials. And so if you have great financial anxiety, you don't really know where you stand compared to other people. So find a way, at least with your partner, to talk about it. If you have a close friend, share with them, or at least talk to someone who can help you with your finances.
Yeah, because that stress does really intensify when those bills start to come in and you're looking at it, you're looking at your bank account, and there's only so much money that comes in, and if the cost of living in here in San Diego, most expensive place to live, then
it's terrifying.
It's terrifying.
It really is terrifying because you're terrified that you're going to be on the streets or you can't take care of your kids. So.
Well, hopefully people will find someone to talk to and get some resources to be able to figure it all out. I think that's a takeaway there.
And talk to your partner.
Yes.
Don't be afraid to talk to your partner, and don't fight about it. Problem solve.
Dr. Levack. Good advice. Sometimes easier said than done.
Easier said than done.
Thank you, Dr. Levack.